I love it. Isn't it great?
Redo
No.
the scene
Let it roll.
757. Huh? Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, I love it.
The scene.
It's even better.
Hey, locals only.
That's what we do.
Hey,
we roll like that.
We can't.
Look, nothing is scripted. Nothing's rehearsed. We
Who cares?
try.
That's right.
We try. This is, by the way, this is episode number 2, right?
Episode number 2.
Number 2.
Hey, we'll be right back. The video? See? Second show.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back. Hey, so we want to give you a little background, a little bit of history.
Just
not very long history, but just want to kind of tell you about why we're doing the scene 757. Why are we?
Well, in case you didn't know, there's an incredible music scene here in this area, I think, personally. And I've lived here my whole life and watched it happen. And true story, where we're broadcasting from right now, which used to be the old WRV, I once saw a band by the name of Locals Only. Let's go back a ways. Locals Only.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, I once saw them like 3 houses down playing a house party. And I'm going to myself, well, I love the album, the cassette tape, excuse me, at the time. And it was great original music. And it was like, you know, it was beachy. It was fun. And as a matter of fact, they came and did a show recently at the Shack not too long ago.
Shack.
But yeah,
that's a new place. That's a happening place.
Absolutely, it is.
Love it.
But yeah, the Locals Only came back and did a reunion show there, which I got to check out. And we're doing this because to pay homage to what? All the talent here in this area.
Lots of talent.
Tons of
talent.
it.
It's
and
awesome.
Look, I'm a local musician. You guys know I play for a living. So what? There's a guitar player on every corner, like me. But there's better guitar players and better people and my friends and people I love, better writers, better, you know, there's just so much to offer. And it's all about embellishing and showing the public or educating the public, if you will, to guys and gals who are, you know, who are kind of like the hidden gems. Like the, you know what I mean? The hidden gems of the area.
Right. And people that you don't know yet.
Bingo.
That are coming
exposure.
Up through the ranks. I've known a lot of them since they were this high, but don't tell them. Shh. Don't tell them.
Yeah, we'll keep that.
But I have known them since they were small.
Right.
Students, School of Rock.
Right. School of Rock. Yeah. With your affiliation, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, Sandy. And also, by the way, let's talk a little bit about that. So, me and Sandy ran into each other at a Rockstar booking. It was the Rock in the Stocking, which is a great cause that Rockstar Booking and the Noblemen do to give back to the community as well as the underprivileged kids. And they bring artists in all day long. And I ran into you and we started chatting. And I said, so what are you doing with yourself? And you're like, well, I'm doing podcasts. I'm like,
live streams.
So I was like, well, the only podcast I know of, which was cool during the pandemic and all, because everyone was doing a podcast.
Everybody.
Joe Rogan, right? So everyone
That's
knows Rogan's $1 million a day guy, right?
That's
or whatever he's making.
Yep.
But it's like, okay, so what if we did a podcast on, you know, you're telling me, Brian, I want a rock and roll food podcast.
I did.
And there's nothing wrong with that. By the way, there's one of those coming up real soon.
Yeah.
Rock and roll and food. Yeah. So that dream's going to happen. So I'm excited. By the way, I couldn't ask for a better host.
Aww.
And thank you for getting in the car and driving out here and doing what you do.
Norfolk to Virginia Beach is so far.
At 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock, it is.
By the way, I do want to give a shout out to our newest member of the team.
Yes. He's Jacob with Critical Computers, and he's helping us with our tech, and we are so excited.
Very excited.
He is going on this journey with us, and we are so excited. We have a couple sponsors.
Yes, talk about the sponsors.
Okay, so we're at
Back Bay Brewing,
Norfolk Beach House. We're at the Beach House, and the wonderful bartender downstairs, he put 2 together for me. He put a stout. It's a strawberry lemonade.
Not a stout.
Sour.
Yeah.
Sorry, sour with a cider, wild animal cider. He mixed them together, and it's just fabulous. You have to ask for that.
I'll
Ask
call
for
the beer the
Ivan.
Wild Kingdom, if you will.
It's the Wild Kingdom.
There we go. One. So with that said, but Ivan is great. If you like good music, by the way, he's a huge blues fan, and he's got the Marcus King radio station playing downstairs right now, which is awesome. I come up here. Yes, please do.
Come up. So we are so thankful to them.
But back to our production man.
Our production man.
Yeah, J-Dog. Oh, sorry. I should have said that.
Jacob with Critical Computers. If you have anything critical, last week was critical for me, and he came in, swooped in, took care of it, and we're live here. So yeah, we thank him for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
thank you.
So we have a guest tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, absolutely, we have a guest and a friend, somebody I've known for a while. I've personally known for a while from grinding the circuit of the gig world. This play, and just grinding out. And finally, Brian did his own thing, which is really, really cool. He wrote his own music. He put his own band together and did it his way, the way he wanted, and didn't let anybody dictate any rules to him. You laugh, but it's true. You laugh. You know what? It takes, let me tell you something. It takes cojones to do that, man. All right. With that said, let's bring on our guest, Brian Shultz, ladies and gentlemen. Bring him up here. Yeah. Come on in here, Killer B.
With the Optimist Cynics.
Yeah, brother.
Optimist Cynics. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. And the house. Optimistic.
That's why we call it OCS.
What a great
Optimist.
Yeah, but what a great name.
How can you be
cynical and optimistic at the same time?
I do. I have a question about on the album. You put Cynics, like, what was there, like a yin and yang to that?
Yeah. I mean, the whole name of it's
the yin and yang.
Like everything about it is, it's the oxymoron.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah.
See, I paid
you
attention
picked
to
up
that.
on that?
I did.
Yeah. Along with so Brian's kind of a sarcastic guy in a way, a little bit. And I like that. So I think he and I connected personality-wise that way, in a good way, because I can be kind of a sarcastic guy in a way, but a funny guy. And Brian's a funny guy. So, we met, just crossing paths, playing this restaurant, wherever, like I know you played at the Ice House forever.
Yeah, a couple years
there and in different places. I'm like, what's your name? Who are you? Oh, I'm Brian Shultz, blah, blah, blah. And I was living, at the time I was in Greenbrier. I was living on Chesapeake. So 3 years ago, closer to 4 now, I moved down to Shadowlawn, right where we're broadcasting from, in this area, Shadowlawn, yeah. And I walk into a place called, are you ready, J-Dog? Jacob. I'm wrapped into Uncle Al's Hot Dogs, and lo and behold, I see this man standing there wearing the exact same shirt that I have on. I'm going to myself, what? Who? I know this guy. This is, wait a minute. This is Brian. This is what is Brian doing here? And by the way, while he's pulling that overlay up, let's talk about Uncle Al's back in the day.
To be fair, I mean, you make it sound like Uncle Al's Hot Dogs. I mean, in however long it was there, I don't think I ever had a hot dog. I mean, you sound like fat asses here.
Well, yeah.
We had a lot of beer.
There we go, the beer.
It was great. They had cheap beers. There was
$3 beer.
There was never a lot of people there, so a grump like me could just go and be by myself. I loved it.
And I walk in the door, and there's Brian, and I'm like, B. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. What are you doing? I'm living down here now. And I'm like, oh, well, I live.
Yeah, the world changed forever.
And the world changed forever. Now here we are. And then the cool part about this for me was realizing that Brian was still grinding as he does, but he was working on something different. And this project he's working on differently is what you see on the screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. His life's work, if you will. Mm-hmm. This album. I mean, it's not all your life's work, but this is definitely a milestone. You should be very proud of this, because a lot of people want to put out their own music, but it takes somebody.
So
with the
when
guts
did you
to
put
go
this
there.
out?
We put it out, I guess last July 22. It was like a 3-year work in progress.
Oh, wow.
Okay, wow.
Well,
There was a big learning experience and a lot of few ups and a lot of downs.
Right.
But in the end, we made a great product and we had fun with it. It was cool. Where it started out to where it finished, it was it was.
Where did you?
I won't say
record it?
worth it like from a financial standpoint,
Right.
but it was worth it from your soul. You know.
Now, did you use it? Did you use your own sound studio, or did you
We
do it with
recorded
somebody
it at
else?
Soul Haven.
Okay, at
There we
here,
go.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
Mickey, right?
well, no, it was John.
Okay,
Terrell.
John. Yeah.
So, but I mean, I've always been like, if I'm gonna do something like that, I'm not gonna half-ass it. Like
I love that
There
about
you
this
go.
guy
let's
right
make it
now.
right.
For real.
How long did it take you to write it?
So I put out an album like 13 years ago. Whenever I was in college, and I never really had a band, but I had a bunch of badasses that were friends that were all like trained musicians, and so we played.
Interesting.
They came and played on it and really made this. It was pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't the quality, and that's not their fault. That's my fault. But it wasn't the quality that I think this is. But I've grown a lot, until making this record. So some of these songs are 10, 12 years old, and other songs on this record are, just a few months before we put it out. So
Okay. All right. So the culmination, if you will.
Yeah.
Culmination of
it had a lot of
a decade
time,
worth
a
of
lot
experience.
of songs to like sift
Right.
through, so it didn't suck.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
the next one I would lower your expectations.
So who are your singers on it?
Now that's the actually have a band, so that's the
Right.
difference.
Okay.
Like now,
Okay.
now like, we have a band, and so we started that in 2019.
Okay.
And started putting it together, and started with my good friend Daniel Lugo, and then I met this guy at 7th Street. I was playing a solo gig down there, and this guy comes up. He's like, "How'd you get this gig?" I'm like, "I got it through an agency." And he's like, "I play piano. I want to play out." And I'm like, "Well, I want to start a band." He's like, "Me too." I was like, "Cool, let's do it."
Which, by the way, I just want to say this right now. Make a blanket statement. I'm going to steal your piano player one day. I mean, he's really that good. He's that good. Anyway, go ahead.
But you didn't know how he played, right?
No,
You had no idea.
And then
That's awesome.
then come to find out he plays saxophone too. He's actually a
Oh.
trained saxophonist.
Isn't that crazy?
So that's cool.
It's double winner
Little
chicken
little
dinner.
bonus there,
Wow.
and then we had a revolving door of some really cool people and a few that weren't. Really, only one wasn't that I can think of. He won't
It
be
happens.
named.
Welcome to music.
But
Shall not be named.
Yeah.
Shall not
but
be named.
it's not anybody who we still associate with. So
So there's that.
so if we still talk to you guys, then you're good. You
Yeah.
know? So everybody
Love
else
it.
we
Wasn't
love.
you.
Love.
Yeah, there's a couple
Right.
guys that we had a drummer who had to move away. We had my buddy Daniel, who I started it with. He just had to take care of work, and he had to move away for a little while for work
Right.
and come back. But we still see him all the time, jam him every once in a while. And then our bass player Steve, we love Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve's bad.
Steve's
Yeah.
he is. He's
Bad man.
He's a fun guy. He get my blood pressure up every once in a while, but especially but I love him, and we I love to hang out with him. We still see him every once
Very
in a while,
cool,
and
man.
every
Very
once in a while
cool.
he'll hop in and play with us too. So that's a lot of fun. So it all just kind of came together, and then Dan Fagan. So met him. He actually works here at Back Bay
Right.
a
He
little
works
bit.
at Back
Yeah.
Bay, by the way.
Oh.
Guitar player, Dan. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Who did a great job. Well, it's, by the
Yeah.
guitar player stand, I just want to say, I listened to the whole thing with the intros and his solos and everything else. I just want to give props. Dan, if you're watching, props to you, my brother. Great stuff. Great stuff.
See, I met him just like walking Shadow Lawn here one night during COVID when during lockdown.
Wow.
And he's like, "Hey, you want to jam?" I'm like, "Actually, yeah, let's do it." So he started playing bass, and then
That's
He went from bass
and
to
then,
lead.
and then one day we found out he was actually should have been playing lead guitar the whole time. So
Isn't that funny?
we did that.
So you
And,
just like
uh,
have
Yeah.
That's what I'm
players
saying. It
that just
really
kinda-
kind of like
Then Ray
Wow.
Clifton, he plays the bass, and we met him one night playing up at Ocean House, and he just walked in. He's like, "I love this song." And we kept in touch about playing bass, and then he hopped in. And the last one we just got was a guy, Derek Slate, and he plays drums now. So he's been about 4 or 5 shows with us.
Oh, he's a
So
bad
he's,
man.
yeah,
He's bad.
So you had a show last night, right?
No, back at South Beach, he was
Thursday.
Thursday,
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know
It's all
what date it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Weekend went fast.
Don't talk to me about gigs. Anyway,
So Thursday, South Beach. So
Mhm.
do you play all original music or do you play some
No, I mean,
cover tunes
things like
too?
that we have to play. We fill a 4-hour night. So, We do
Good question.
a good selection of covers, but we try not to do everything that everybody else does. There's just such an oversaturation of the same old shit all the time.
That's true.
I love
And it's like we like to do songs that either you don't know and you're like, wow, that must be their song. That was really good. And we're not too proud. Like, yeah, come see us again. And if you ask us, we'll probably be truthful with you. But we'll just let you think that was our song, and you really liked it. And or we do like songs that people are like, wow, man, I love that. I remember that song.
Right.
I've never heard anybody play that song before.
Right.
That's awesome.
And just stuff that like, you're not gonna remember. Who was that band that played Wagon Wheel or Tennessee Whiskey when you came to Virginia Beach? Oh, I don't know every one of them. Who was that band that played Modern Love by David Bowie or
Right.
A Girl Like You by Edwin Collins, something like that. Oh, that was OCX, and nobody else does that. So it's trying to find.
I like
things
that,
and not keep it stale, from getting stale for us, because
That's right.
one of the coolest things. By the way, Brian does have a printing business. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do all kinds of.
I'm talking about hats,
Yeah,
shirts,
kind of
t-shirts,
brewer.
and he one time when I saw him playing, he has a shirt. I don't have a graphic of it to overlay, but it says, "Go ahead."
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a wagon wheel with a slash to it, like a no.
This is back, when it was popular, and Wagon Wheel was like the big thing.
It's like the modern day Freebird.
Oh,
if
I
you will.
hated it.
Yeah.
And
Wagon
I used to
Wheel.
charge people $20 to play Wagon Wheel. And but I felt bad.
So don't
So
ask if you
then
want
I buy
to
them a
see
shot, and then I buy myself a shot, and they're at my $20. I'm like, well, this is dumb. So then I was like, well, I'll get some cheap shirts printed up, and it had a circle with the line to the
Circle the
wagon
line to the
wheel.
wagon wheel.
And we were drunk when I thought this up. And in the back it said Hootie,
Hootie.
because he ripped it off.
Yes.
Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we'll have to get a
And,
graphic. of
I
that
mean,
and
I
post it.
printed that thing a few times, but then thankfully Wagon Wheel kind of died down, and I got tired of hauling the shirts around. And one day I left them somewhere, and nobody ever called me, and I never tried to figure out where they were. So
Who do you?
somebody's got some.
Who do
free shirts.
you?
So,
Think you are.
If you find them like walking
Or,
around,
yeah, the thrift store. If you're walking into Judeo, wherever, you're going to see
Yeah.
you could get very
Hey,
possible.
if anybody finds those shirts, let them know.
They're out there. The wagon
Yeah,
wheel.
that is so cool.
Who do you think you are?
I just hope there was nothing else that I actually cared about. And I don't give a damn about those shirts.
That's so funny. So what are your influences on this album?
So that's a wide-ranging
Wow.
answer, because
Oh.
it was 10 or 12 years worth of life that some of this was, written over. Like, and my music taste has changed so many times throughout that time. So some of it, I used to be a Dave Matthews fanboy, and
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
some of it's a little more influenced by that. Some of it's a little more Americana.
That's what
bands
Sandy
I
was
like,
saying.
Job by Truckers Lucero,
Oh, yeah.
American Aquarium, stuff like that. Some of those, Casey Anderson, some of those kind of vibes, and some of them.
I heard some Mellencamp in there.
that she was getting a Mellencamp
Yeah.
kind of rock
I
Americana.
heard it.
Yeah,
Just a little.
that's not like a huge influence, but I like Mellencamp.
Right.
It-
And I think that also too, like certain times whenever, like in songwriting styles, when you tell a story, you sometimes get lumped in, which is not a bad thing, but you get lumped in with like storytellers, because it's
Right.
not just talking about, shots and
right, yeah,
feeling
yeah,
that
yeah.
beat and that
Right,
baby girl in the
right,
pickup truck, like there's little substance to it. So it's kind of cool when
Right.
people like, is this an influence? It's like, not really, but
Right,
I
'cause
dig
I can
it,
think
like,
of Jack and
you know.
Diane, like Jack and Diane is one of his big,
yeah.
But I do want to say this real quick. Me and Brian kind of connected really big one day on a song by this band called American Aquarium, well, I'd never heard of before, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I was a huge Burn, Flicker, and Die.
Mhm.
Burn, Flicker, and Die. Check it out, American Aquarium. And I was just like, wow. And it sprung on me because I love songwriters like Springsteen. I love guys who tell the story. Problem is, I don't know how to write it. I'm the guy who's transcribing, Coltrane or Miles licks on guitar, trying to like pick up bits and pieces of what, to play a solo on. Brian is a guy who knows how to write life into the song. And, he totally gets it as far as, where he wants to go with his vision and present it. And that's why, back to the whole American Aquarium thing. I was like, you've seen him, you went and saw him recently.
Yeah.
This is really, was that cool or what?
I haven't
Yeah.
heard
Oh,
of
yeah.
it.
Yeah, you were sending me, I remember you sending me, I was like,
It was a blast.
God.
We were
I
extremely
haven't
hungover
heard
the
that.
first night, but the second night was just a lot of fun.
By the way, you do go out of town a lot and you see a lot of shows. You're not just a musician writer, you're a music fan.
Yeah.
And the best musicians, I think, are music fans.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So.
Exactly. All right. Well, okay. So what is your favorite song on this album of yours?
This,
you have a favorite?
yeah, it's probably Windows Up.
Windows
That
Up?
one and Western Ponds, I say, are my two favorites. But I like most of them. I guess I like them all, but there's one or two that I can kind of like sweep under the rug. The one in particular I'm thinking of is a lot of fun to play. It's not my best work, vocal or like lyric wise. So it's fine. It just I don't have the same like sense of pride, I guess you'd say. Like I'm not like arrogant way, but like like it's like that kid you really didn't weren't planning for. Hey, I was that kid. But I was also the first. So.
Okay. There we go.
You gotta love it.
Speaking
this wasn't the first. This was just
speaking of songs on the record. I took some notes, by the way. I'm gonna put on my readers.
There he goes.
I took some notes.
There he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's not looking at paper.
Yeah, Western Pines. I'm not looking at paper, by the way, because you didn't know. I told you I love David Letterman. I'm old school like that. We got a really big show here. Western Pines. Let's talk about it. All right. To me, I was getting the verse jobs, bills, empty thrills. I mean, we all been there.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, and then the sax solo that comes in, or was it? By the way, his sax player also plays aerophone.
It's an aerophone, yeah. So it's an electronic saxophone.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it plays the same way, but you don't have to carry around 17 instruments, and it's not 400 pounds.
Oh, that's
so,
cool.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This song is super fun though. It kind of encapsulates what I love about all the band, and just it's a punk rock. It starts out with a country feel,
yes,
and turns into a punk rock song with a sax solo. It doesn't make any sense,
but it works.
And
it works beautifully.
It works great.
It's beautiful.
And just like the whole line. I mean, just thought it's one of my favorite songs lyrically. Who would I want to be if I wasn't me? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's as you get older, like I don't know. I still like to like I'm trying to go to sleep or something like that. Just like daydream about something. I don't know, pretend about something.
I love that. I love that.
To me, it's like I love like going out west. Like it's always like like getting like what would you do like if you're like in different times like cowboy days or something. Or, I don't know, just like
I think about the 70s.
So it says like dig for gold till we get old. Like I just want to get away from everybody, and that's why the last line is like I'll just live here and never sing these songs. Like I just And now if I'm out there like then I get bored and want friends. But it's nice to escape is what I guess it is. Well, I always enjoy just kind of like having that little bit of like reset and solace where I can just get away from everything for a while.
And you're big. I noticed you personally. Because we know each other. You like to travel and go out of town.
Mm-hmm.
You like to hit the reset valve.
So, are you from here?
I'm originally from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
so
see, there you go. Gettysburg, historical.
11 years. So.
Yeah. See any ghosts?
Mm-mm.
No.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh man. Darn.
I remember this thing growing up. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say this. I don't know if the place is still in business or not, but my family does souvenirs from one of these places. But there was this place they were making a ghost video. It was a real low budget film, and you could like see the string like closing the door whenever.
Oh, well, there you go, my mystic friends.
Yeah,
the optimistic cynic speaks.
The bullets aren't real either.
Let's burn our sage.
The bullets aren't real.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Okay, Girls, Boys, and Guitars, by the way. That's your favorite on the album.
That's my favorite.
As it should be. I say that because, think about Girls, Boys, and Guitars. I mean, what a great title.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, tell us a little bit about that. What do you think?
It's kind of just like an ode to music more than anything. I miss the girls. I love the boys who used to play the guitar. I love the boys who used to play them. There was.
I like that line.
Yeah, isn't that a great line?
It's my favorite.
And it's about simpler times. It's about younger, simpler times. It's like a theme of a lot of my songs, I think. But it's just I miss when music had substance. I mean, the last line of the song is these songs they got no meaning anymore.
Right. So was there a song that you had in mind when you were writing?
Not really.
Or just a bunch of songs?
Like I guess one thing around this time that like TikTok, and it's still huge, but like it was like right when it was coming out, like everybody's doing these stupid dances, right?
Yeah, let's be internet sensation in 15 seconds.
And like,
Right.
and so I have a neighbor, Trevor, and he was my neighbor, and he had these kids, and they're great. Like they're kind of like, we don't have kids. They're kind of like my kids, or like my little siblings. They're like, it's always like, it's one of those things like, get them all wound up and then give them back. Like they'd be hanging out. In the
They're great to hang out with. Yeah.
Which was,
yeah.
poor kids, hanging out and listening to all our shit. We're sitting around drinking beers around the campfire, but they'd just be like, TikTok this, TikTok that, and like listen to this song. Oh, like and like the little kid, Ben, he'd be like, Post Malone, and I'm just like, and then I think Marnie, like, she'd be like, oh, this. And I'm just like,
How you
like,
process that,
so
right?
that
Yeah.
what
What do you mean cool? You gotta be cool. You don't be judgmental.
Like
you don't be judgy, right? Yeah, right.
This is the.
Like they're my age, and they were like,
Yeah.
I was playing guitar, and like I was trying to be cool, like, pick up some chicks, and now it's just like you make some dumbass video and flap your hands, and then that's apparently the new generation's mating call.
It is.
By the way, before I sign off on that song, I wanted to mention that's song number 2 on the album. I wanted to mention the fact that I heard a female harmony on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the ever lovely Emily
Fraser. Yeah. So I met her a couple years ago working out at
Aloft.
a lot of times.
Okay, her name was in it.
Well,
Sort of.
So that's a coincidence.
Go ahead.
So the lyric is actually Emma Lee, because I was like, oh, there's nobody that has this name. This is never going to be weird, right? And then it's like, oh, hey, you want to sing on this album? By the way, it kind of says your name here.
That is weird. That's funny.
You want to see even weirder?
And then the next song was about a redhead chick, and she had red hair.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, like,
Yeah, we'll get in that. I saw
It's
that.
meant to be.
creeper here, like,
It
so.
When I first met her, she actually took guitar lessons from me.
Oh.
And she was the one, I swear to God, recently she
You should
hired
have
me.
taken singing lessons from her.
Thank you. Yeah, you're right, because she can sing her butt off. And she sent me a text after I played. She goes, you know what, Brian, you're right. She goes, people don't like to practice. I always told her, people don't like to practice. It's the Louis McGee line, by the way. They don't like to actually practice hard. It's like shooting layups or foul shots or do anything methodically, systematically, to a metronome or whatever. People don't like to put the work in. They all want it to come natural. But there is a technical side to work. And that's what Louis McGee was and kind of instilled in me. And it was cool that I like the fact, Emily, if you're watching, I like the fact she called me and said that. So on to the next song. Anything, by the way, I was playing it at Shadow Lawn Eats, which used to be Uncle Al's.
Yeah.
I was doing a gig there. Brian walks in the door and I'm like, hey, I can get you in with management. I can introduce you, blah, blah, blah. And I throw him my guitar and he gets up on stage and plays it acoustically, this song. And it was so beautiful because it sounds great on the album, but it's one of those songs where it's got a modulation where the sound moves. And the fact that it does that, it stands on its own acoustically. I mean, you can pull it off whether it's you're playing, a cover gig or whatever with that song. Yeah. Yeah. So that redhead, back to the redhead girl. What is your thing with redhead girls?
That's just my kryptonite, man. I always liked them. Yep.
He's thinking about redhead girls. The ginger. Okay. It kind of had a Jim Blossoms vibe to me, just in a little bit.
Yeah.
I use that term loosely.
So I always use that. I use that band as like an example band of like why I just like don't play solo that much anymore. I'm just tired of playing like Jim Blossoms and Eagles song. But it's like a love hate thing with those guys. But I mean, I do like. I used to love them, and that era of music.
Yeah.
But I think it's just easy for people to pigeonhole it in that because they know that I used to like the Counting Crows.
Counting Crows.
They know that I like the Counting Crows and like the Jim Blossoms, and like I have a little bit higher of a voice in a lot of it, and so it's easy to draw that comparison. And then like the songwriting, once again, from like having substance to the lyrics, which I think is easy to draw that comparison. But then I hear a lot of times people say, "Oh, this is just like Matchbox 20." I'm like, this isn't anything like Matchbox 20. Like, I mean,
No.
there's a little bit of rasp in the voice.
Right. No offense to Matchbox 20, but
and the structure. I mean, there's a verse, of course. Like, there's a structure to it, but like, it's just there's so many times like a cop out. It's like, oh, because you play a lot of 90s stuff, you're a 90s guy. And it's like, no, there's a lot more to it than
back
that.
to the pigeonhole. Pigeonhole. Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is
Sandy,
college rock. I'm like, this is not like. It's like obviously. And I'm not saying you because I know you listen to it a lot and we talked about it, but like people like, oh yeah, like they give you like this one like broad generalization. I was like, oh, you obviously didn't listen to the album.
You heard one song and took a judgment
Right,
away from
right.
that. Yeah.
Right, because they're all different.
And God bless you for listening to that one.
No.
So,
they're,
you know,
they're
but
all very
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the one that I like, but I also like the other one.
Which was
The one.
the
The
one.
one.
The
Yeah.
one. Oh, the one. Let's talk about the one. Let's
The
jump to the
one.
one. Why
The
not?
one.
I'm not going in order. Let's go to the one. The one. We all have the one,
The
don't
one.
we?
The one.
Do we have
So-
the one? Does she
so-
really, or he exists? I mean, does it really exist? There's the one. Let's talk about that, Brian. Go
The
ahead.
one. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a fun one because that's like a real riff rock song. I don't know where I got that, but it's just fun. It sound wise, it's a lot different from the rest of them. That one was just like I'm not really good at writing love songs. I'm like there's two songs that are like kind of about my wife.
I thought that was my
Okay.
prediction. By the way, that was my
and
prediction.
But,
your
like-
wife is.
By the way,
wife is
Jessica,
Jessica, yeah.
the ever lovely. If you're
Okay.
watching, absolutely, she is
Hello,
a doll.
Jessica.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm not good at writing love songs. So like there's like these two songs that are like kind of like, hey, this is for you, and it's like an old dirty shoe, but at least like there's like this intent was there. I don't know. Like
You know what?
it's just because like okay, so she may or may not have allegedly watched this awful television show. It's called like Are You the One or something like that.
Oh.
She was watching something on MTV, which is like just as whatever it is, it's bad. And I turned it on one day and it was like a marathon of that, and I'm like, what is this shit? And so like I took that concept and I'm like, okay, the one. I'm like, all these people in here are dumb. Number one. It's just like, anybody watching this is well, let's not call them dumb, but let's call them. What's that thing we say down south? How nice. Bless their heart.
Bless your
Yes, bless the
heart.
Bless your heart.
So Brian actually watches.
Yeah.
So that
You like
he
that,
streams it all.
Bless your heart.
Does he?
So, yeah, he's a big fan of the show.
Is he?
So I took that concept of like the one, and I'm like, this is a bunch of bullshit, So
Right.
and
right.
so it's like there is this thing as the one, and it comes, and it's just like it has a bunch of just like random places that it's talking about, like all the places that I've been, and like
Yeah.
or wherever you
Yeah.
could be, like there, wherever you are, there's gonna be somebody for you there, and there's no such thing as the one. It's just finding a one or the right one, the right one for where you are, and
Right.
That's the beauty of that song.
And
it really is.
that's right.
and
the
it's
beauty
just
of that
like
song.
because
I
if
get
you
that.
think there's one person in this world for you, that's crazy because they
I've
could
locked
be in
in-
India or they could be in South America. How the hell are you ever gonna run into them? You know what I mean? So it's
I've sold myself on You're the One,
What do you mean?
baby.
You
Yeah.
can do it on
You're the
WhatsApp.
one. Yeah, I've
Yes.
sold myself. Yeah.
Yes.
You can find him on WhatsApp. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I've sold myself too many times on the
Do you have a
one.
WhatsApp?
Brian's got
Yeah.
a bunch of websites. You can
Yeah,
go on.
yeah. It's called I'm the one loser.
Oh my
Knight in shining
God.
armor trying to save you, but that's another story. So yeah, the cool thing about that, I asked right here in my
So,
notes. I
you-
said,
so
was
you-
that written for
Was
Jessica?
your
No, okay. Well,
yeah,
I'm
you're
going
the
to
bone
ask
to
you
pick with
during
this
I'll
okay.
do that with my
Okay,
shark attack.
okay.
Okay.
but we-
Okay. So
That'll be
my
in a
favorite,
minute.
one of my favorites, and I say this because the way it was written in the beginning of the song, it was almost like catching. Of course, it's a minor key. I love minor key
Mhm.
anything. I was catching on a lone and lonesome highway east of Omaha. Like the guy, like that. Here I am again, walking into the cafe, and that's kind of the vibe I was catching out of Waitress. He was,
Waitress.
yeah. I thought he was writing it from a waitress's perspective. And then the more I listened to it, it was kind of risque, B.
Yeah,
It's like
it
you're
is.
hooking up with the
That
waitress.
was
She had
the
a bow in her hair. by the way.
this is the one that I don't really. This is my least favorite, I think. But it's all right. It's just
All right.
it's a little it's a little trashy.
No, I thought it was tastefully done.
wondering.
It was tastefully done, and I say this in
I
the
love
line.
playing it live because we jam it out.
It started to
and-
rock at the
Mm.
end.
Yes, and that's,
Like the Waitress, like at the end, it just kind of like rocks out.
yeah.
So
So, and I put this the morning. Oh, Sunday morning, I forgot your name. Done. Sorry. Sunday morning, I forgotten your name.
sounds like a musician.
Don't
thing.
get
Mm.
pretty. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell you're talking
Okay,
about.
sorry. I said this ginger thing. Oh, hey baby, if we go any faster, this could end up a disaster. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of like the pre-chorus, right? Or is that the
That's
chorus?
chorus. Yeah.
That's of course the song. Yeah. Hey baby, if we go any faster in this relationship or whatever, as we know, anything that happens too quickly in time in a relationship.
Yeah.
I
I
go
didn't
ahead,
know
Dr.
that-
Sand. By the way,
I
Dr.
just-
Sand.
Okay, so I didn't know
Interject.
what the context of the faster was.
This
I
is the
kept
best
listening
part
to
of
it
this, man. Go ahead.
What does the faster mean? Faster.
hang out with Brian Dunn a lot. You get your mind in the same place. Damn.
I'm gonna go grab myself a water downstairs in a second. I'll see you guys later.
I know you guys want to listen to the waitress.
What are you
song
talking
now.
about?
What?
Nothing. The waitress.
What are you talking about? The
Actually, it's very
waitress.
tasteful. It's number 10
He
song.
said it was
Last song on
trashy,
the album.
and you're saying it's tasteful. I believe the songwriter.
I think you know what. Music's open
It's
to
tastefully trashy.
it's
Tastefully
open to
trashy.
it's open to interpretation anyway.
Yeah.
Think about this. It's all music itself, as we know, is open to interpretation. And whatever you were feeling, or whatever you were writing, or whatever influence you pulled, you could have pulled that, like you said, over what, 10 years?
Yeah, that song was written 12,
Yeah.
13, 15
Yeah.
years ago.
That's what I'm saying. So there's a lot of different draws that we don't know, and it's only Brian knows, and it could be. And then there's a rhyme and a chorus, and the fact that he put this all together and put this in here, I thought was so cool. So I want to tell you how much I dug that one. I mean, as well as all the other songs. I told you I've been listening to it all week. So
Me too.
Yeah.
And the artwork on it.
we've got to get a graph of the artwork. We've got.
did?
By the way,
Who did the artwork?
I got to get a graph of the artwork.
That's my buddy, my old neighbor Rick Ricketts. So he does a lot of.
Okay.
He's painted a lot of the stuff, like a lot of the murals around like the Vibe District, and he like
I
all
loved
kinds
it.
of like the car paintings and everything. You see like all the
I had to
restaurants.
look at it and see what.
That's where I'm
little
going with
pieces
this. This
were
is
in it.
exactly where I'm
So
going with
there's
this.
a lot of Easter eggs in it.
Oh my god!
Throughout
Easter,
the album.
like Easter eggs within the artwork.
But,
Go ahead. I love
yeah,
it.
especially the song "Drive Across America," which is the title track. There's just a lot of like little subtle references. And initially, like I had made one that like had like references to like different songs too, and it was like a whole like
Collage.
collage of like
Oh,
different
I
things from like the
see.
whole from like every song on the album. Whereas the one now it's more or less just "Drive Across America" song.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of little cool
But
things.
let's talk about that, because I called literally. I started watching it on. I started looking at the album cover, and on my computer, not my phone. I was on
Yeah,
my computer, and I
right.
was like, 15 minutes or less, and you see the feather. It was like the gecko is done. So you're mocking Geico. Which is great.
Hey,
Yeah. He's mocking
And my
Geico.
wife, just like those damn commercials and progressive flow, she can just
Yeah. And
And,
then the streamline says Selfieville, which of course we all know is
Yeah,
what.
so-
Yeah, go ahead.
no, it's just the premise of the song. It's "Drive Across America." What the hell for? Every city is the same anymore. And like there's a
Ooh.
mountain scene, like, and it doesn't matter where you go. It's the same old shit. It's just
SOS.
it's
He nailed it.
unfortunate, but like you go to Montana. I actually wrote it when I came back from Colorado, and it's just like, oh, here's this nice, beautiful place, and it's just filled with Outback Steakhouses and Starbucks. Like it's just,
So that's where you met your wife?
no,
Oh.
that's where we got engaged.
Oh,
but-
you got engaged
Oh,
there.
okay.
Okay.
By the way, where did you meet
Okay.
Jessica? Let's
Yeah,
get off topic
where
just
did
for a
you
second.
Calypso.
So,
Yes.
Calypso. I
I still
think
frequent.
Oh, my arm cracking. Sorry,
Yeah.
you guys hear that? Yeah.
Been there a time or two.
He's got jokes. So let's talk about the broken foot.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
No.
Let's not do that.
All right, we won't go there. Sorry, we won't talk
We
about the
don't
broken
know about
foot.
that.
That was.
we won't.
Yeah. Anyway.
That
Yeah.
Don't
It's a
drink
great
Rump-
story.
Don't drink Rumple, kids.
Don't drink Rumple. And he did. Okay, I'll say this: he did not break his foot,
We're not.
but he
Nor
watched.
break anyone else's
Break
foot.
anyone's
That's,
foot,
all,
but-
that's all we need to say.
Okay, I was going to say what you witnessed. Can I say what you witnessed?
No,
please?
let's just
No.
move
All
on.
right.
There's no positive ending to this one.
See, okay. There. You don't need to know the story.
Welcome to
Okay.
the bar business.
Replay.
Yes.
About 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, are you having fun or what? I'm having
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
Are you having fun?
So
This is one of our loosest shows yet.
yeah,
Go ahead.
this is gonna
Well,
be
I
fun.
mean,
This
you
is
know.
fun. So I'm just gonna ask my one question.
Shark attack. Time for the shark attack or no?
Yeah, it's shark attack.
Shark attack.
Uh-oh.
I thought I saw a shark
Uh-oh.
attack.
Sandy Archer's Shark Attack.
Sandy Sarge.
You get
Sandy
the
Archer.
shark attack.
Yeah,
So
Sandy Archer.
I loved your whole album. In fact, Drive Across America, I love the beginning of it, like the intro part. And I tried to put it in one of your things, but he was like, no, he's a songwriter. We need to add some of his lyrics in there. So anyway, I just thought it was really cool.
That was one of the licks that I played.
So
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the shark attack is in the one
Shark attack.
you talked about Kansas City girls not being pretty. I'm from St. Louis and Kansas City.
Interesting
Gosh, that is
there.
really hard.
Sounds like you
That's
got
hard.
But
It's harsh.
you're from St. Louis,
Harsh.
so why should that matter?
Because I lived in Kansas City. I have gorgeous Kansas City girlfriends.
And B, it means absolutely nothing. It just rhymes. It is
He
a
did.
city that
See.
rhymed with pretty.
Well, there you go. See,
The
now
city
you
The
rhymes
guys
only,
with
know.
pretty.
the only, the
Now
only,
you
the
know.
only song, the only place that really has any meaning there is my buddy Matt, who died years ago. But I said a thing in there about this one certain town, and he's like, he was from like Rochester area. He's like, could you change that to Rochester? He's like, that'd be really cool. He was the first person to ever hear the song,
Very cool.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was one of the
Very
last times
cool.
I saw him.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
So that's the only Rochester is the only
only true
place
reference.
in there that has any
Okay.
meaning, and that's just
Okay.
really
Okay, and,
so.
and is there a Katie, a real Katie?
It's a real Katie. There's a song called Katie, by the way.
Yeah.
Back to Redhead Gingers.
Yeah, she wasn't a redheaded ginger. But no, so everybody thought it was my high school girlfriend, but it wasn't. It was just some other chick that I knew.
Well, there you
that
go.
was like
There's
kind
the
of
answer.
she was cute, but like really gloomy and like Eeyore kind of.
You know, women can
Oh.
really influence a man, can't they?
Yeah.
They,
And there's no songs about Sandy's. No, none.
I think Springsteen has one,
yeah,
doesn't he?
there is.
Yeah.
There is. Grease.
Speaking of
Grease.
Springsteen,
Yeah.
I was catching major Springsteen.
So my question is,
Go ahead.
Brian, what is your middle name?
Mine,
Yeah.
Patrick.
Okay. Well, the next show we're having a Patrick talk because apparently we have Brian Dunn. We have Duns and Brian's only. Ha.
Mark
Oh,
Dunn
yeah.
last week. Yeah. Oh, okay. She got jokes.
I got jokes. Got jokes. Boop. But anyway,
I like
so all right. I know you have some more questions, some cool questions for him as well.
Shall we go for the breakdown? Is it
Anything
time
else
for the
you want to share
breakdown?
about any next projects coming up where you're playing next?
Yes.
So we're doing some stuff.
You got
so
one here in
I-
July, by the way. Let me interject.
Uh,
I just found out from Wendy.
yeah, July.
By the way,
30th
Back
right
Bay
here.
Brewing. It does live music here, and they got stuff
At
on
the
the
Beach
weekend.
House.
Beach House, Back Bay Beach
Back
House.
Bay Beach House.
Brian is going to be here in July, I know for sure. But before
Yeah,
that,
July 30th. Yeah, so we have a couple of like the stages, the beach stages,
Very
17th,
cool.
24th.
Oh, that's cool.
We have
Yeah, good stuff.
we have like a monthly residency at the South Beach Grill, which is a really good stage up the road.
Charity Madden, thank you
Yes,
for being a
right.
big supporter of live music, and we're going to get her on the show one day. Yeah,
Yeah, we have
absolutely.
a couple of things coming up. I mean, we're at the point. So not to get too deep into this, but used to play when you still grind. I used to grind, and I just got so tired of playing solo
I love it.
and just doing it over and then I got the band, and I just got tired of playing certain places that. Yeah, most of the places I played I like, but there are some that I'm just like, I don't want to be here at all. And I want to play a place where people actually care, and
I
they,
love it.
especially not that it's not that you must, but like, especially places that have stage. If they have stage and sound, that's awesome because that means that we're going to be at our best.
Peak performance.
Now there's other places that they don't have a stage, the sound, they have a stage, or as long as you're not like stuck under the TV in the corner, like
They
out of
moved the
way,
buffet from
like-
Sizzler out of the
Yeah,
building.
like,
Yeah,
and
we're going to move the
there's certain
buffet.
places, and
That's what I'm used to. Welcome to Brian Dunn's world.
And I'm not
Move the
I'm not
buffet,
trying to
yeah.
knock that. I'm not trying to do that anymore. I'm looking for quality and not
Right.
quantity. So
There you
I
go.
the
love
other thing
it.
is too that like you play around too much and nobody comes and sees you. And that's
Oversaturation.
with the band. I mean, I know some really good bands around here, and then I see them, I'm like, well, damn, we draw more than that. But it's like they're playing out here 5 nights a week. And so that's one thing. It's like it's a blessing and a curse because do you want more work? Yes, you have to keep your guys working, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to diminish the product, and
Very good
so
point.
it's a give and take. It's hard, but
And are they full time? As you know, I hate to say it, I am guilty of oversaturation, if there is such a thing. Because
no, but it's
is,
a different thing though because and I used to play every night. I mean, it used to be mainly my full time job as well.
right. So you know,
But it's one thing to like do that as a living, and there's two different things here, and not that any one is wrong.
Right or
it's
wrong,
just
yeah.
it's just I got the shits doing the 8 days a week, grinding the same stuff. I just got tired of it, but I missed the artistry of it.
There we go.
And that's not everybody's thing. Some people, and I'm not. This is not like but people do. They get like, oh, it's on this high horse. Like there's a certain thing as an artist, and then there's a player, and here like and what I've been for years. It's we are more looking at it as a profession, not an art.
Yeah. Very well put,
And
Brian.
I missed the artist side of things, and
Right.
I was tired of the profession. So that's where I kind of drew my line. And that's where it's a hard area to be an artist, because there is not a lot of opportunities for art. There's a lot of opportunities for what we all do, making money.
Cover
We all
guy.
we all do, and
Right.
I still do sometimes.
However, it's improving. I just want you to know there are places out there improving that want nothing but original music too. So think about that.
Well, I just wonder if, do you have a vision about that? Like, what kind of event space or venue would be really good to help encourage that kind of art?
I don't know that it could be. I don't think it's on a venue to do that. I think it's on people to just care, and people to,
Right.
like not just want to go see somebody play Wonderwall. Like, let's there are places that give that opportunity, and it's just up
Right.
to people to be
And
like, I'm fed up with everything that sounds
Yeah.
the same, and I guess it's on musicians too, because this is another thing that kind of irritates me. And once again, people say I get on my high horse. I'm not my high horse. I try to encourage people.
Yeah, I like that.
And people are like, oh, there's Brian Shultz. Oh, he's gonna give me shit about original music. He was gonna hear original music. I'll be in some place and there'll be 3 people there. Like, hey, play one of your songs. Nobody wants to hear that.
I'm
There
that
are
guy.
3
You can
people
say it.
here. Nobody wants to hear anything you're
Right.
playing because they're not here. And that's not a knock on you. That's just a fact. I've been plenty of empty bars.
Right.
Like, if somebody wants to hear your stuff,
yeah.
play it. And
Right.
I'm
Right.
encouraging you to be an artist. I think most people at some point, I know you have a lot of your own stuff, and you've done some compilation stuff and things like that. I mean, like you've done like artistry stuff.
By
Like,
the way, Jesse Wagner. Sorry to interrupt.
yes, that's
Jesse called me right before the show tonight. She sent me a text, Jesse Wagner, and she's coming on the end of June. She said she'd be in town, so we're gonna get Jesse
Awesome.
Wagner on. Total
Awesome.
surprise to you and everybody else.
Yay,
Yeah. So
awesome.
Jesse Wagner,
That's
the woman I
awesome.
wrote a song for, who was with Little Steven, and she's like, anyway, enough.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Jesse when I get her on, but that's a surprise. You guys got to tune in for that. But yeah,
but
you're
yeah,
right.
so that's the kind of the thing. Like, I'm sure like most people at some point, you want to be, when you first start, you want to be the rock star. You don't want to be me and Brian Dunn. Like, this life ain't glamorous.
grinding out hamburgers.
Yeah, like,
What do you want, a patty?
so like it's at one point,
Double
like,
cheese.
you wanted to
Right.
do your own
Right.
thing, and then especially in this area, because you can make money at it, you
Right.
get caught in that trap of just like
It's
regurgitating
true.
it. And so
And
like,
this is,
I try to
it's
just
known
I
for
try
that.
not to be pompous, but just to encourage people to remember whenever you wanted to like be more than just
Right.
the
That
person
guy.
singing Taylor Swift or
Right.
Luke Bryan songs. Like,
Right.
and that's what I kind of
That's great.
that's what it took me a long time to get to that point.
I
And,
say
and it's not for everybody, but it's just I want to hear what you bring to the table. Nobody wants to see.
Right.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't want to see your copy of the Michelangelo painting. I want to see the Michelangelo painting.
Right.
Yeah,
And it could be the
yeah,
worst
yeah,
painting
yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
If you did it, I want to see your painting.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
You should
good.
see my painting of the album cover.
Right.
If you buy an OCX CD, they're all individually drawn on the front by
Are they
me.
really?
Yeah, and they're the worst things you've ever seen. But the point is, they're unique, and I did it.
I love
You
that.
know,
That
like,
is
it's
so
not-
cool. That is
it's
very
not
cool.
just print,
There's a
you
little.
know?
There's a
I
reason
like
to
that.
buy
I like
So
that.
the OCX CD. Listen to
Yes.
him. And if you go to a show, guess what? He'll sign it for you.
Right.
And
And where can
telling
you
you.
purchase that?
yeah, where can we get you? By the way, where can we get your music? Talk to us.
you can stream it from us at a show if you want to support the band. One day we'll go on the website. Nobody goes to the website, so it's not really a rush.
Right.
We have it up there.
But
Yeah.
OCXband.com. And then the music, you can stream it anywhere,
Awesome.
really.
But you don't have any, nobody, I guess, buys CDs anymore. I mean,
Well, that was kind of like the thing
I
of
do.
like that was kind of the reason that like I didn't do the album artwork, because it's like A, it was like $700 more
right.
to have all the cases printed, and B, like nobody wants everybody just throws shit away. So it's like, okay, I'll get some cardboard things and I'll individually draw like a person, like I'll either personalize one for you, or I'll just like make some things like back to where we started, like the yin and the yang. Like
Yeah.
so I'll think of all these like contradictions and oxymorons, and I'll just draw these like stupid things. Like my favorite is like I have a cactus that has like one thing going up and one thing going down.
Right,
you know?
right.
Cool.
Or,
I
like,
dig that.
There's one that had like a moose with a horn like this, and then the horn going down. Like it's just all this dumb stuff. Like
I like it.
Welcome to
penguins can't
Brian
fly, so
Schultz,
there's one.
ladies and
It
gentlemen.
was penguins in an airplane because penguins can't fly, but hey, they can fly now.
Oh,
Yeah, like, just dumb stuff.
No,
Yeah,
I like
but-
that. I like that.
That's true. But I want to make a point. I do buy CDs because I have a CD player in my car still. And if I'm driving across America in the mountains, I can't get any of my services.
Very well
so
put.
I need to
Pun intended.
have a
Ooh.
CD. Exactly.
Oh.
Hello, pun intended. Because I go through the mountains, no music.
Well, that and
Yeah.
like that, and if you like stream, and believe me, like please stream it because there's nothing more deflating. Yeah, you ever want to like waste? Don't have an ego if you record.
Go
an
ahead,
album,
say it, Brian. Go ahead.
because you ever want to waste all your money. Record an album. You got to do it for you, and that's you got to
Exactly.
do it for you because
That's right.
at the end of the day, like whenever I get those stats, I'm like, oh boy, that was really worth spending 10 grand on.
The only,
But at the end of the day, that's something that nobody can take from me.
Right.
And
It's
so
like birthing a
please,
child.
please stream
It
it.
really
Well, no, because a child's a pain in the ass for the rest of your life. This album's just out there, and I never have to see it again if I don't want
Yeah,
to.
happy Mother's Day to all you.
Hi, Mom.
By the way.
So I don't have them. We have cats, not kids. No, but so the streams, that definitely helps me not feel like I'm a complete failure. Well, I mean, I guess it would. I haven't got there yet. But the other cool thing with the CD is like, we don't make any money off the streams, and it's not a lot of money. But if you give us $10 for a CD, that money goes directly
That's
to
right.
what we put into the
That's-
project.
Or-
So you would cover like one little small tiny piece of that at a
as I
time.
like to say
Well,
that.
your merch would be better with the artwork on your shirt. Like the merch. you can
I'm not sure the
give us.
artwork's good enough to be.
I don't know. I thought it was.
But
you're talking about your other.
yeah,
artwork
my
then.
artwork.
Okay.
But no, I mean, and that would just that would be way too expensive. to
No,
print all
no,
those
now,
colors.
so if they buy the master recording, as I know, you buy the master, then that's where your maximum dollar is. Somebody buys your master recording, you get most of your profit from that versus a stream. Of
Right.
course, they go to
Yeah.
Apple or whatever and buy the actual master from you.
So
That's
anybody
where
got some money? I got the master. What's up?
There you go.
or no, or even
All
buy it
right.
online. At $10, you're getting more of the or 11, 12.
Oh, I
bucks.
thought you meant like buy the rights. I was like,
Oh.
hell yeah, I'll what you got?
I'm waiting for Beyonce. I'm waiting for Beyonce to buy my song. Please, Beyonce, if you're watching, Pharrell, talk to her, get her to buy. What's the name of my song again? Anyway,
Spanish Moon.
yeah, no, the other one,
I
Over and
still- I
Over
don't
by
know.
Jesse Wagner.
See, I only know Spanish
Anyway,
Moon
yeah.
so far.
Okay, so we'll talk about that later. So Brian, here we go. You ready for the?
Mm.
Are we getting close to the breakdown? Are we getting close to
No,
the?
we're gonna do your rapid.
But let me. Can I do my
right?
little picks real
You
quick
wanna
during
do-
the week, or should I?
Oh yeah, let's do
Okay,
your
okay.
BD breakdown first.
Okay.
BD's Breakdown.
I am not singling out or choosing anybody in particular, okay, or anything in particular. So
Right.
not being biased.
That's
This is
right.
totally unbiased, Brian
That's
Dunn.
right.
Meaning, if I was off on a Tuesday and I want to hear a great classical guitarist who blows me away, like a Robin Welch kind
Jack
of guy,
Becker.
classical guitarist, I might go to
Hi, Jack.
the Aberdeen Steakhouse and see Dimitar from Bulgaria.
Ooh.
He's been there 25 years playing nothing but classical guitar. He sounds like 9 guitar players at once.
Awesome.
Blah, 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 because that's the
On
kind
a
of stuff.
Tuesday night.
I think he's usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday. kind of
Okay,
deal. Yeah,
Friday,
on weekends.
Saturday.
Yeah, but I'm
Okay.
just saying. So if I don't name you on this, don't get offended. I know somebody's going to get offended.
But they won't.
So yeah, of course they will.
Disclaimer. Don't be-
Disclaimer. Yeah. So upcoming cool shows. I'm reading this, by the way, off the RSB 757. We know who
Okay.
Rockstar Book
All
is.
right.
HL Wilson tonight in Hampton. Of course, HL is a.
Oh,
HL's a-
HL's awesome.
He used to make pedals when I first met him. He made the old yellow distortion pedal over at Alpha Music, and he was like tour manager for Driving and Crying or something, which was crazy.
Oh,
Of course,
wow.
Mike Gumbus is doing his thing at Chicho's. Always awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
Mike does this open stage over there at Chicho 29th Street, and I dig Mike. I think Mike's an awesome guy.
And they
Dustin
have good
Furlow.
Pizza.
If you haven't heard Dustin Furlow, he's one of the.
That guy's
I don't
killer
know
on
that.
guitar.
Excuse
I
me.
don't know
Excuse me.
him.
Hold on.
Oh, I
hold
don't
on.
know him.
Let me just stop right there. Him and Matt Thomas
Yeah.
Like I try to like take lessons from them on accident on purpose. You know, it's like he has like multi-million-dollar companies sending him guitars for free. He's so good.
You ever see somebody that like makes you want to quit playing?
Yeah. No, and it actually kind of
Whoa.
inspires me. It is inspirational. It is, yeah.
And
he-
where's he playing?
he's playing at the Cavalier Outdoor on Tuesday, May 16th.
On Tuesday, tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
That sounds
Yeah, and
nice.
he's such a nice, genuine,
I
just
love the Cavalier,
person.
too.
Yeah. Let me see.
Now
What
I'm
else.
gonna have to be out every night of the week.
Yeah. But they have trivia at Chicho's backstage if you're into that kind of thing. Which I used to like down trivia and DJs. I'm like, you know what? People look. There's a market for that. There's a market for that, and
I do
it's
get
cool
it.
that it's supported. And I know some of these people that run them, and they're great people. So I'm, my whole outlook on all of this
Drive
changed.
across
Supporting all
America.
local.
There we
I
go.
should have made a third verse.
There we go. There we go. Grant Austin Taylor at Winston's Raw Bar. What can't we on Wednesday? Wednesday the
Right.
17th. What can't we say about Grant?
Oh, I've known Grant since he was 10, and
Yeah.
playing guitar, coming out and seeing the Blue Lords.
And now they have the
Since then.
the Lords of Blue. We will have to talk about the Lords of Blue later, won't
No.
we? Well,
We're fine.
okay, all right.
We'll
Let's
wait
see.
till we get one of their band members.
Okay, there we go. We're gonna get a Blue Lords band member in here, Lords of Blue.
The
Joe Hillman,
historical
by the way,
band.
Joe, I love Joe. Have you
Yeah, Joe's
God,
awesome.
that dude.
Man. Talk about somebody who grinds,
God,
too, man. He's
grinds.
like you. He's
Yeah.
like you.
First time I heard him,
He's
I'm like, so when did you like swallow Otis Redding into your voice? How did that happen?
I was gonna say he's like you, but he can sing. That's
No,
all.
yeah, but he can sing. He's like me, but he can actually sing. Yeah.
Wow.
Joe's the real deal.
He is.
Yeah. And once again, great
See,
human
these
being.
are all new names to me.
Yeah.
Some of these.
Right.
Really? I mean,
Vin-
I've been around a while,
Vince
and
Vince
that's
Cornegay
how
been
you
around a
get
minute
stuck
too.
in
Very
this
soulful
rut.
cat. I
You
love
get-
Vince. Yeah.
Yeah. You get stuck
Yeah.
in
At
it.
Ballyhoo's on Thursday,
Vince,
the 18th.
okay.
Vince Cornegay. Oh, Steve Forrest. Did I mention Steve
Steve
Forrest?
Forrest.
Yeah. Didn't he have a little tumble here recently?
I won't confirm or deny that. I know personal
Steve
information.
may or may not be at Murphy's.
I will look. I'll say this: everybody knows he's my best friend on the planet, and he's fine for right now.
Good.
And so that gig should be going on. John Smallwood, I love him to death. Chris Keys. Everybody heard of Chris Keys?
Oh.
Oh my God, that dude.
See, I'm
We gotta get-
wow.
Okay, Qmar, which by the way, right around the corner. That's a Rockstar booking gig. It's like a high end.
Get your
Kmart?
Spanish going. Man.
Oh.
You know, man, you think I know Kmar by now? For real. No, Kmar is listen, this Thursday. Yeah, he is Chris Keys is a
At least
heck
I
of
think
a,
that's what it's called.
yeah, it
It's
is
not
Kmar.
them.
Yeah, when I
Not
say
them.
There you go.
Qmar,
Oh.
it is Kmar.
Hey,
Yeah, it's like Kmart. Yeah, that's matter of fact, Steve Forrest told me that when I saw him playing there,
Ah.
and I cracked my crown. Anyway, there's
Uh-huh.
a story behind that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, Chris Keys,
Okay.
badass,
So
badass.
we almost got all of them, right?
Okay, Thursday, sir. Okay,
There's gonna be way
sorry.
too many gigs on the weekend.
Yeah,
We're gonna be here for
yeah.
2 hours if you go.
Yeah, I'm
through that.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Rob
there's-
White.
there's
I gotta
more.
get Rob White. I got it. Rob White. By the way, love me some Rob White. Great singer, guitar player. Have you guys never heard of Rob White?
No.
Oh, Jesus God.
See.
Calypso Bar and Grill this Friday, the
Yeah.
19th. Okay. So enough. I will leave that alone.
I
Funny-
must-
funny-
I must
funny
be in the
story for-
different-
Go
I
ahead.
must be in the OV Norfolk section.
Okay.
You know, and it is different. Like seriously, there is a
Yeah.
different wherever you live. There's kind of a different
Scene.
who you know.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, that's true. Yeah, the demographic, and like these are just guys who, like, if I'm off on a Friday and they're
Right.
close by, like, I used
close
to see.
by, right? I'm in
Yeah.
Norfolk. I'm not going to drive down.
Last
to
thing
the-
we want to do, yeah. So I'm just trying to like air this out and let people know if you're close by these areas where they're playing, check them out.
That's right.
You know,
should.
yeah. I don't want to jump in the car and drive, like you said, to Ocean View and
But
have 2 beers.
But
and, yeah.
at the same time, you're missing out on these great musicians. So that's why we're doing this in the
Right.
first place. Is
Bingo.
to promo
Promo the
those
musicians.
people that we don't know to get more exposure. So
Exactly.
that's
I'm calling out Jack Becker, by the way. Funny thing, me and Jack used to
I
have
gotta-
this.
go ahead.
Used to have this thing where like every time we'd walk in and see somebody at a bar, we call each other a different name. So he'd be like, "What's up, Brian Dunn?" I'm like, "How you doing, Louis McGee?" or something like that. And then
What? Louis McGee.
so like we don't like he called me like Dave Johnson, and I call him Dave Deering or something like that.
By the way,
we would always like pick different names for each other. And then I remember one night, love you, Michelle. One night, Michelle Barlow came in.
Borderline
And he's like, "Hi, Melanie and DeLorean," and she got so pissed. And then she became privy to the joke. So that's why I don't want to be like,
So it's like saying,
that guy hates
it's
Jack
like
Ricker.
saying something. Yeah,
If we say your name, it's probably because we like you.
Yes, because we like you. It's taken on you on purpose. And
You're
truly,
right.
and the cool thing about Jack, I met Jack years ago, and it was like my Jack Ricker story. I saw him on stage, and like the managers were like kicking him out one day and then hiring him back the next because they did $10,000 more in sales. But he cursed out this person or whatever, and he was chewing tobacco on stage and whatever. But but Jack is, the bar said, yeah. So this character that he portrays on stage,
nicest guy in the world.
it is. I call him Key West Jack. That's Key. Yeah, what you're seeing is it's almost like Ric Flair, and he is that guy. And I've seen him literally take an
He's
audience.
like Ric Flair and Jim Leahy at the same time. Like at the end of the night,
He is the liquor. He is the liquor. Jack, if you're watching, no, he does.
Now I want to go see him. Where's he?
Oh,
at?
he
don't play much anymore. I don't think.
Well, he flies planes
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
He's a retired F-18 pilot and trainer.
There you go.
But he started flying planes, I think, for FedEx commercially.
Oh, okay.
And he's got a family and twins.
I
And
think so.
yeah, he's got twin daughters
Yeah,
that are
he's busy.
so he's a
busy.
family man. But he used to play here at Ice House all the time. And so watch the board here.
Me
but-
and him used to alternate Thursdays.
Oh.
What a shit show that
Oh
would
my
be. If one of us ever stumbled into the other one's show,
Yeah.
we just knew that the next day wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jack would literally put people in the palm of their hand and say, "Drink the Kool-Aid," and they'd be like, "Yes, we're gonna die. I don't care." Really, he had that kind of command
Miss that guy.
over an audience like
Oh.
that, like
That's
like an
nice.
evangelist kind of thing.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Can you believe that we are already over by a minute?
A minute.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna have to watch this back tomorrow.
Brian went off these long tangents. So we gotta flex it on camera.
Whatever he's doing.
Did I
now.
take my glasses off too many times tonight? Brian, by the way, your beer's empty. I'm
That
gonna have to buy
means
another
1
one.
hour.
Oh, it
1
took me.
hour.
Look, there's still for everybody who thinks I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I get confused for another Dunn in this area, but we're not mentioning his name.
So okay,
Just got the
so
IV in your leg.
Yeah.
I see that we've got the
Makers
Drive
might
Across America up there, but were you going to ask him any more questions?
Oh, you ready for the rundown? My closeout questions, if you will.
All right.
Close
okay.
out.
My closeout questions. Here we go. And you just, it's kind of random, but if you could take a few seconds to embellish, it's completely up to you. Blue cheese or ranch, B?
Neither.
Ooh.
Neither.
Fender or Gibson?
I'd say Fender because I'm too dumb to play. I'm too dumb to make the Gibson sound good. I have one. If anybody wants to show me how to make the SG sound good through a Fender amp, be my guest because I can't do it.
Dude, maybe I'll buy that SG off you. We'll talk about that later. Action height. Action, by the way, kids, is how high the strings are off the neck. High, medium, or low? What do you like? What do you prefer?
I like it low because it's easier.
Okay.
There you
I'm
go.
a middle
I got
guy.
tiny hands.
What is your favorite brand of string? Acoustic or electric makes no difference. You have a particular one you like.
I probably like Diodaros.
Diodero, yeah, they're pretty solid. I would say that
Electric.
Diodero is.
I mean, I just play cheaper any balls.
But Diodero
they
is one of
break
those.
it- they
They're
break
always
some.
consistent.
Yes.
Diodero is always consistent. Yeah.
This thing will last for 2 years. I
2
know because I've
years.
done it.
Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' there, B.
Neither. Give me the non.
Neither.
Give me the non-chain. Give me the.
Yeah.
Drive
I'm
Across
with you
America,
on that.
man. I don't want
Yeah,
that. You know. Like,
thank you.
Let's go to the local bakery.
Good answer. Good
Okay.
answer.
Okay, here then.
I don't eat donuts.
Donuts, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
despite the appearance, pizza that's a different story.
Brian's getting ripped today. He's,
Okay, we're gonna have to change it. Yeah.
So I had this biscuit, by the way, over at Commonwealth. I'm gonna post a picture of it, by the way. This biscuit. It was unbelievable. Some incredible food down here in the Shadowlawn district. Shadowlawn Eats, of course, Ice House, EV downstairs. I mean, there's so many great places to eat down here in Shadowlawn. But we'll go into that later. By the way, we got a food broadcast coming up. Will you break the rules, Brian, for something or someone you care about? Think about that for a second, kids. Will you break the rules? If the rules say
Sure.
you can't go
Depends what
visit
the-
your mom in the hospital because it's after 8:00, but your mom, you want to see her, would you break the rules?
I might come see you, Mom. I might.
I'd go in dressed as a freaking security guy. I'd find out what the security guys are wearing and dress like them and go through and like.
I think it all depends
Nah.
on the risk versus the reward.
Well,
You're
just
like, you know
well,
what
if
I
it's
mean?
my
Like,
mother in a hospital, I'm. You know,
Yeah. What's the risk they're gonna
Yeah.
do to me? You
Yeah.
know,
Speaking of
like,
mother, by the way,
tell me I
happy
can't
Mother's
be
Day.
there.
Happy
Yeah.
Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day, by the way, to all moms out there. Last but not least, last question. Ladies and gentlemen, Are you doing truly the thing you want to do for a living?
I'd say now, yeah, I kind of like it because I've gotten into my niche. Like I work with a lot of breweries and
Talk about that for a minute, by the way.
So we do like merchandise for all kinds of promotional products, apparel, stuff like that. But I work with a lot of breweries. That's kind of my niche. We do it for all kinds of places. But
Right.
so I
Very
get to
cool.
travel around and drink beer, which is that was the intent when I started. That was the intent when I started, and now it's kind of just like, okay, this wasn't supposed to become a full-time job because I still have like the souvenir side of things that I do, and now it's like, oh shit, like there's the nice thing is when I go drink a beer, I can write it off, and get like, you don't get it all back, but you get a little bit of something.
Right.
But it just became a lot of work, and then like when I'm not working, like I still do enjoy going to breweries, but I kind of just want to go be left alone and
Right.
drink like some.
I kind of get
some
that.
Right.
By the way, Brian does have campfire parties. We can talk about that later. Bonfire parties. We can talk about that
If
later.
you're lucky, you're invited.
Yes,
So that
if you're
means about
lucky, you're
3 of you.
invited.
Yeah.
That means about 3 of you. I'll see you. I'll see you
Yeah, and don't forget the Brian Shultz Thanksgiving.
soon. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We've
it's
had-
legendary.
We've had those in the past. Those are kind of sporadic if
Yeah.
we're here or not. But COVID in the year after was pretty wild. Or maybe it was the year before and after. Or I don't know. But the one year we went out of town. But those can get pretty wild.
Yeah.
Those aren't really planned. They just happen.
Spontaneous combustion, kids. So anyway, my co-host Sandy Archer,
Well, thank you so much, Brian.
Yeah,
our
thanks for
guest
having
Brian
us.
Schultz.
Thank you. Wonderful
Production.
And thank you, Jacob. And we
Jacob.
have some sponsors.
Oh yeah, talk about our
We're gonna-
sponsors for a minute, of
We're
course.
gonna put them up there. Island Time Delights. Well, there's a little video and Critical Computers.
Critical Computers in the
Then, of
house.
course, Back Bay Beach House and
Yes.
Sandy Archer Consulting.
Yes. By the way, that's another thing I wanted to just mention real quick. We don't talk a whole lot about it just because we're talking about music for the time, but that's how we really kind of connected because you were doing podcast as Sandy Archer Consultant.
I was doing graphics and social media
Yes,
management.
correct.
So I do websites and all of that.
Yeah.
Where have you been all my life?
Yeah.
I know,
so,
right?
You know,
Right.
I love
Yeah.
all the whole thing.
But then there's the Dr. San, like Dr. Phil, Dr. San. Okay.
Dr. Sand. And,
Yeah,
and
there's
I'm
the Dr.
I'm a life
Sand.
coach as
She
well.
is a life coach. Let me tell you.
do
Look,
all
I
the
used to think
aspects
life
of your
coach
life.
was-
One-stop shop over here.
Yeah.
Well, I used to
yeah.
think, I used to like, life coach my ass, right? Whatever, don't be a dick. That's my life coach motto. But no, really, we've become great friends, and you've helped me. You've talked a lot of sense to me personally, and I've just really enjoyed this.
That's
And
got
I-
to say something for her, like
Yeah,
ability.
yeah, to talk to
I
me.
mean, if she can talk sense to you,
Right, yeah. So enough of
I
that.
did
Anyway,
have some experience.
anyway, no, she's she's incredible. Get in touch with her.
not this one.
You can't- No.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
By the way, he
Yeah,
loves
that one.
baseball. In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Big
Baseball.
huge
Yeah.
baseball
Uh-oh.
fan.
Who's your
Used to do
team?
box score.
Pittsburgh Pirates fan.
Oh,
so
man. I'm a
it was
Cards,
really
of
cool
course.
like 2 weeks ago, but now it's not so
The
good.
Cards.
Yeah, not good for you guys either.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Ugh.
I mean, you've only had like 30 consecutive years
Swing
of being
and
good,
miss.
so
Oh, I know.
just take your medicine.
Sorry.
We got a comedian on the show. We thought we were the comedians.
That's awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you for
and
tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. And we have just a little promo about tonight.
Yes,
our
and real.
Join us May 15th at 7 p.m. for the Scene 757 Locals Only in Virginia Beach at Back Bay Brew House Beach House. We'll be interviewing Brian Schultz with the Optimistic Cynics and sponsored by Island Time Delights, Critical Computers, Back Bay Beach House, and Sandy Archer Consulting. Join us.
Hey.
Yay,
and our
back real
next-
quick. Yes,
yeah.
listen. Yeah. So our next show, we're going to take a little break for a little bit. The next show is going to be June 5th, correct?
June 5th.
Monday, June 5th. Mark your
That's right.
calendars. Guess why? Sandy, when I first met her, she says, I want to do a rock and roll and cooking show. Well, I can't do that. However, what did I bring to the table?
Yeah, he's one of his good buddies, his
Dimitri.
pal, Dimitri at the Aberdeen Barn.
It's going to have us do a live
So excited.
show, and we're going to be giving away gift cards.
Giving away
free food.
free food. Hello.
Like,
Who doesn't
I
want
thought there was
that?
like steaks today. You were like eating,
Oh.
and then like you didn't bring any. So,
We're sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
Cash then or what?
No.
It's
So anyway, no, really. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that show. And our
it's
guest,
going to
Amy.
be Amy Kaus. And I
Yes.
got to meet her last week
Yes, and she a
at
doll.
the farmhouse, at the
She a
Back Bay
doll or
farmhouse.
what? Yeah.
She was so good. She
Yeah.
played everything.
Yeah.
She was
Nice.
amazing.
Yes, and
She's
just
awesome.
pleasant human being as well as a
Yes.
great singer and performer as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So I call her like the total package. So
She
so we're
is.
looking forward to that. And by the way,
Amen.
keep sending your suggestions. We're making a list and checking it twice.
Right. Share, like, and share this
Like and share.
this one out to all your friends. We would appreciate it. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay. Thank you.
Have a good
All
one.
right. Peace out.
All right.